On today's show, robots take on the role of candy stripers at a San Francisco hospital.
Amazon's going to start making their own movies this year. We'll tell you how and why.
And an old-timey radio turns into a super cool podcasting machine. No time travel, unfortunately. It's Tomorrow Daily. Greetings, citizens of the internet. Welcome to Tomorrow Daily, the best geek talk show in the known universe. I'm your host, Ashley Esqueda. Join me on a Monday. Wait a minute, you are not Kale. Or you shaved your head and you look totally different.
I got much better looking.
Oh, so true. This is Brian Bishop, you guys. Brian, Kale's sick. Wah wah.
Get well soon, Kale.
Get well soon. Hopefully,
or don't. I'll be here tomorrow.
That's. You know what? I wouldn't complain. I'd be bummed a little bit because I love hanging out with Kale, but
right.
you seem like an all right guy.
I'm a pretty awesome podcasting machine too.
That is true. Old timey radio or Brian Bishop, ultimate podcasting machine.
Yep.
Not really sure. I think it's an even match.
Just kidding. Get well soon, Kale.
Yes, get well soon, Kale. But until then, we have some really fun stories to talk about. And you, just before we hit the headlines, you do the Film Vault.
I do.
So we've got some really interesting stories regarding film and podcasting.
Yes, we're going to rely on my film expertise in a story about Amazon's original programming, original films.
Super good. So let's hit the headlines. So we here at Tomorrow Daily love robots. As always, it's a Monday. We love robots every day of the week. But this I thought was very cool. 25 autonomous robots are going to be rolled out at the UC San Francisco Medical Center in Mission Bay on February 1st.
Okay.
So these are them. Here they are right here. We've seen this before. There's actually about 160 hospitals in the U.S. that kind of employ robots. They already have robots kind of like this, but UC San Francisco is the first to deploy a fleet this large.
Okay.
So 25 is the most any hospital has seen deployed at once. So the cool thing about these is that they're tasked for delivery and taking things around the hospital. So they can do food. They can deliver food to patients. They can pick up food trays and take them away once the patient's done eating. They can interact with 6 of the hospital's 20 elevators, which is pretty awesome.
They can interact with an elevator? How advanced?
Yeah, like they can tell it like exactly what floor it needs to go to and all that other good stuff. And the neat thing is so here it is, okay, well, they're gonna put food in there and then it takes it to the room and then, oh, there's your food. It also interacts with the pharmacy.
Okay.
So the pharmacy can put in some medication, say we need you to take it to this lab or this other pharmacy.
Or this patient.
And then, but specific nurses are only able to open it with a PIN code and biometrics.
Wow.
So there's actually there it is, a little fingerprint scanner there.
How about
and then
that?
That'll open the lock so that they can get those medications out. So that way nobody's running around stealing drugs from robots at a hospital. You don't want that.
It's like taking candy from a baby robot.
That's exactly right. Drug candy from a baby robot.
I don't see these robots transforming into anything. At what point do they transform and start battling evil?
Actually, I think that is in the 2.0 model.
Okay, so we have to wait on that.
This is an early version 1.0.
Okay.
But these are super fascinating, and I love the idea that they were saying, a lot of people I'm sure are concerned about the idea that, well, these are taking away jobs from people in the hospital. But I really liked that I read that the people who were tasked with delivering those supplies before have actually just been moved into new positions.
I was going to say, someone's got to refill the medication, someone's got to clean the robots, someone has to reprogram the robots when it comes time to change the software or update or whatever, so maybe it increases the number of jobs.
Right, and also potentially, I really like that it frees up time for example, somebody who could be taking care of a patient.
Yes.
Instead of running something back and forth to a lab or whatever. So I thought that was pretty cool. Like I said, 160 hospitals already have robots, but this is a really big fleet. There's 25.
Yeah, you really hit the nail on the head with the personal interaction. As someone who spent a little bit of time at hospitals recently over the last few years, nothing beats the personal interaction when something's really going wrong or you have a question or you're scared or you're nervous or whatever.
You don't want a robot.
Well, the robot's helpful for delivering, to get your whatever to you on time.
Pain meds.
To do the sort of, get this to me on time, whatever. But when you want to ask a question or have some expertise or whatever, you don't want to be waiting for that nurse or that doctor to be seeing 5 other patients who have some menial thing like please deliver this or please do whatever. So,
or take this lab down or take these samples down to the lab. It's like, okay, well, have the robot do that as opposed to a doctor.
Automate that stuff.
Yeah, automate the stuff, the menial stuff that we don't need doctors and nurses doing. So, yeah, really interesting stuff. But equally as interesting, just in a different industry, Amazon had some very interesting news today.
So Amazon was a big winner at the Golden Globes,
Big
right?
time.
They won Best Original Comedy Series, TV, and they won Best TV Actor in a Comedy Series for Transcendence and Jeffrey Tambor.
Transparent.
Well, either one.
We don't want to give Transcendent any awards.
Good.
Maybe a Razzie.
That's actually a really good point.
Razzie.
It couldn't be more on the opposite side
Yeah.
of the quality
Maybe
scale,
a
right?
Razzie.
Transcendence
Maybe
and
a Razzie.
Transparent. No, Transparent, and of course Jeffrey Tambor. And Amazon announced they're going to be releasing 12 theatrical films this year. They're getting into the theater. They're going to become a production house. They're going to start producing theatrical movies.
Full-on movies, which
you
is
can
pretty
see
cool.
in the theater, which apparently will be available to be streamed on Amazon Prime within 4 to 8 weeks of being in the theater, which
Such
is
a good
much
idea.
quicker than the usual months that it takes for a film to.
Right. Well, it's like, it's 6 months.
Yeah.
Like you see a movie and then it comes out on DVD 6 to 8 months later.
Yeah. So the controversy I think is going to come from the exhibitors, the theaters basically were saying,
Right.
well, what's the incentive for people to come see a movie here if they're going to see it in their home in just
In
4 to
4
8
weeks, right.
It's a legitimate complaint. I mean, I don't know about you. I go to the movies a lot. I actually am one of those old-timey guys who likes to go to the theater, and I like the experience, but you can't beat the convenience of watching a movie at home.
That's true, but I think that you actually made another point there, which is,
Well, thank you.
You love the experience of going to a movie, and I think a lot of people will still feel that way and say,
I hope so.
And say, I really want to go to these really big kind of event movies. Like I
Right.
think a lot of people still are going to go to these event movies, these experience films, like Avengers.
Yes.
You're not gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna take a pass on this. I'm just wait
Right.
for
That's a
VOD.
theatrical experience.
That's an experience, and I think that there's something to be said for Amazon really kind of picking up the baton of indie filmmaking, because they did say, I love this quote that they're saying they're looking for unique stories, voices,
Yes.
and characters, and they want to get those things from top and up and coming creators. So
Yeah.
not only are they going to be looking at really famous directors
Right.
and writers and things, but they're also going to be looking at people who maybe aren't getting looked
Yes.
at by traditional Hollywood studios.
I think so. But back to the Avengers in 1 second. Put a pin in that.
Okay.
But they got Ted Hope apparently to run the theatrical division, who's an independent producer, executive producer known for movies such as American Splendor, 21 Grams, Adventureland. He did a great documentary called The Devil and Daniel Johnston.
These are all fantastic
These are all great
films.
movies. So he has the pedigree. He's a legitimate guy in the independent world of movies. So if he's got the eye for those kinds of movies, they could start pumping out some quality material.
Yeah, and I think that they're really feeling bold right now because of
Yes.
the Golden Globes wins. I think
They're
them and
capitalizing
Netflix.
on some good publicity.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that I thought was very interesting as kind of a bullet point to this is both Netflix and Amazon have a huge data cache
Right.
of information about what their viewers see, what
Yes.
they want to see, who
Absolutely.
they want to see. When they want to see it. I mean, they have all of this data that maybe Hollywood studios, it's a little harder for them to collect because
Or impossible.
because it's not on the scale and it's not at the frequency that people are watching on Netflix and Amazon. So I
right.
find this very fascinating that, maybe Amazon is going to start taking some risks that traditional Hollywood wouldn't, but it's not really that much of a risk because they have the data to back it up. Just like House of Cards.
I think that's very true. I think that Amazon getting into this kind of business is good, and I think it's one more sign that the movies, now this show is for and by nerds, so people love the Avengers and all that stuff, but I just feel like the sequels and the spin-offs and the prequels and all that stuff, it's eroding the quality of these movies like the Avengers. There's no danger.
It doesn't have to be
Iron
a
Man is not going to
trilogy.
get killed in Iron Man 2. Trust me.
Yeah.
No one's dying in Iron Man 2 because there has to be an Iron Man 3 and an Iron Man. So the fact that they keep pumping out these movies and expect us to get just as excited about them every time, it feels like we need it just feels like we need a little bit of new blood in these movies. And I think the Amazons of the world
This
will
is a
start
good
to bring it to us.
opportunity. Yeah,
We'll
this is
see.
a good opportunity. So that brings us to our hashtag of the day, which is TD Amazon. And I just want to know what you guys out there think of Amazon getting into theatrical production. I mean,
Okay.
are you guys more inclined, now that you know Amazon, let's say they make a movie, are you more inclined to see it in the theaters, or do you say, I'm just going to wait because I have an Amazon Prime membership, I'll wait 6 weeks?
Sure.
I mean, how do you think you'll use the service?
You know what they should do is, it is interesting, I'm sorry to interrupt, but what they should do is they should offer discounts for theater tickets to Prime members.
That would be amazing.
Because then
I would go to the
satisfy-
movies. Yeah, I would totally go to the movies more often.
Get a
'cause
$5
movie tickets
ticket
are
if you use
expensive.
get a $5 ticket if you use your Amazon Prime membership.
Yeah, and then see it for free 6 weeks later on
Yep.
your television or on Roku.
Yeah,
or
free
whatever.
rental or something.
Yeah, super good. I like that. I like that idea. That's
Why,
good.
thank you.
You're welcome, Amazon.
Yeah, you're
welcome.
welcome.
just take that, put that feather in your cap.
They need our help. You're welcome, Amazon.
Clearly, they're struggling so much. I mean, I don't know if they're going to make it through 2015. Lastly, I thought this was so cool. You are a podcaster.
Yes.
I have dabbled in podcasting as well. This guy, Roderick Mann, loves the Thrilling Adventure Hour.
Okay.
So if you've ever not heard the Thrilling Adventure Hour, this is a podcast that replicates old-timey radio serials, and they have different stories. Like Beyond Belief and Sparks Nevada, Marshall on Mars. And this guy took an old golden tone radio, 1936 golden tone radio.
Vintage.
So you can see it looks like just a normal radio.
It looks like an old-timey radio.
It's like an old-timey radio.
Like big box radio. Those are like furniture for people. Those are display
they're
pieces.
huge.
Back in the
Big
day.
display pieces. So the cool thing is that he actually turned this into a podcast player.
Like an iPod docking station?
It's a little bit more complicated than that. So
Okay.
he wanted to keep, instead of having to open it and put an iPod in and all this stuff,
Right.
he wanted to be able to program his own playlists and change the actual dial to different playlists.
It changes the frequency.
So let's say you have a Beyond Belief. Let's say you love Thrilling Adventure Hour. So that you make your own playlist for all of the Beyond Beliefs, all of the Sparks Nevada, all the
film vaults.
all the different podcasts that you listen to. And then what he did was he used this thing called a BeagleBone Black to store and play those shows in different playlists. And as you turn the dial to each quote unquote station, it actually makes the changing sound, like the static and the fuzz, and then it fades in the next playlist of podcasts.
Okay. That is needlessly elaborate.
Needlessly elaborate, but so cool.
But very cool, yes.
So cool.
Almost everything that is needlessly elaborate is cool.
That is true. I will go that far and say that is true. And I really like that he used everything in the back of this is modern technology.
Yeah.
So he's got this is the back of it right here. This is what it looks like from the back, which is crazy.
Oh, it's just a facade. Oh
Yeah,
no, this is open, obviously.
That's with it open. So he was saying if there's enough interest that he would make boards that you could just slide into things like this and that you can make
have your own design, have your own look, have your own face to it.
You can't stream podcasts. You can't just choose one and stream it like you would on your phone, and you can't download them directly. You have to actually load them into this BeagleBone Black to play playlists, but they have to be loaded in as playlists to work with the radio dial.
Okay, I gotcha.
But really cool.
That's a very cool idea. Listen, any way that people can access and listen to podcasts is fine by me.
We're all for that.
We are, because people brought up oh, Serial's so popular. Are you jealous, or hey, what are your thoughts on that? And my whole thing was hey, whatever gets more people into the podcast pool, that's a great thing for us.
And there's only 12 serials. I mean, you could have,
That's right.
There's only 12 of those. There's a bunch of
There's a bunch of everything.
A bunch of everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could listen to Film Vault nonstop,
which you really should be doing
for
anyway.
a long time, and you would never need to start over again.
Yeah.
Serial, it's 12 hours, you're done. It's over.
Speaking of static, you realize that it's not going to be long before kids have no idea what static is or was?
Yeah, it's super weird to think
dial
about
tones.
stuff like that. Like dial tones, dial-up internet. They're what is that weird sound that this is making? You're just you don't remember that sound? Oh, it's crazy.
We're going to have to come up with a new joke or a new way to end phone calls in movies, where it's click,
they're
tone,
they
hello,
crackle
hello?
paper and they're shh, oh, I'm sorry, so you're breaking up. I'm
Well, if you got hung up on in the movies, it would be dial tone, hello, I think she hung up on me. It's why don't
Now
you
it's
figure out
just
something
nothing.
completely new?
Now you just talk for 10 minutes and then you realize no one's been on the other line.
Let's make a movie about people realizing when they've been hung up on, and we'll pitch it to Amazon and put it in theater. And
We'll
the
get
broadcast
Kristen
right now.
Stewart to star because she has that real straight, emotionless face.
You don't know if she's happy or sad.
Yeah, it's just you don't
Or
know if
awake
you've been
or
hung
not.
up on. It's the same. So, well, on that note, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with a really awesome Back It or Hack It. I don't care how dorky you guys think it is, and your user feedback, so don't click away. It's Tomorrow Daily.
You've been acting awful tough lately, smoking a lot of cigarettes lately, but inside, you're just a little baby. Oh.
Welcome back to the show. Every week we like to do this thing on Mondays where we talk about crowdfund.
Okay.
There's a lot of really good ones.
Yes.
Some that are kind of weird.
Some?
Most. Okay, a lot.
There's a
many.
majority that are kind of weird.
Majority sort of bizarre.
Okay.
But I am really curious to see what you think of this one. I saw it and I got very excited,
Okay.
but some people might find it super dorky, so that might be you. So this is Back It or Hack It. All right, we're gonna see if this is Brian Bishop approved.
Okay.
This is called, wait for it, the foot hammock. All right.
So far, so good.
So far, I love hammocks. Any kind of hammock, just sleep in it on a tree. This is actually designed for your desk. So here's the, we've all been there. Okay, I've lived this. I lived this morning before I even saw this stupid thing.
Yep.
I was resting my feet on my subwoofer underneath my desk, and I was getting really uncomfortable, just like this guy.
Footprints on the wall.
Just fidgety, and
Yep.
you can never.
Ooh.
Oh, and this guy's got a foot hammock. Look at that, and he's playing World of Warcraft. So yeah, this is the foot hammock. It is set up. They have these adhesive, kind of stickies that you put underneath your desk,
right.
and then there's some bungee cables and hooks that allow you to set up this foot hammock. They give you a couple options. There's a mesh or fleece option.
Okay.
There's also even a heated option. You
Ooh,
can get an
the
electric heated fleece, and I think their stretch goal is if they reach $100,000, you get like a cover, so you can like put your feet in and then it's covered.
Oh, like tuck them in, like like the quarterback hand warmer they see in the cold weather.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like that. So there it is. It's all, there's hooks, and then he's got the elastic. It rates up to 100 pounds, so it can hold your legs. You're gonna be fine.
Oh wow. Yeah, you'd have to have pretty strong adhesive.
Yeah, so the
you're holding your
adhesive's
legs.
look, he's gonna hang on it.
Oh.
So there you go. So it's a pretty strong adhesive. It goes right underneath your desk. You put it in there. You can actually tighten these up and make it flat.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's gonna do that. So you can hide it pretty easily, which is nice if you don't want it just hanging underneath your desk like
To
a weirdo.
adjust to your level of comfort.
Yeah, of course. And then the one thing I really like about it is you can always see people like moving their legs from like bent to straight, and it just keeps your foot in there, and then you don't have to worry about readjusting. And also, okay, so
Yeah.
guys, I totally backed this morning. Like
Good for you.
I paid money. I'm like, I'm in. Sign me up. I'm not even gonna think about it. There it is. Look, there's the
Yeah,
cover
there it
right there.
is.
It's a magnetic cover where you stuff your feet in there.
That
It
is a
keeps them warm.
cover. I was only kind of in until I saw the heating option, and then it was like, why not?
I mean, it seems like a really good idea.
It does, and I don't know. I mean, the marketing it towards gamers is one thing, but there's a big platform for this in like offices and corporate structures because.
Well, it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, my wife works at a desk job, and she works in a place that has like slate floors, and it's not very warm, or
No.
it gets cold. And this would be a great way to put your. And plus, I imagine you're an exception today, but a lot of women wear. Or go
Open-toed
sockless.
shoes.
Yeah, they go sockless to work.
True.
And if you want to kick off your shoes and relax your feet a little bit,
You don't have
this
to
is
worry
great.
about people smelling your feet. You can just stuff them in the
Yeah, you got the cover.
foot hammock and put the cover on,
Just
and
cook
just
your
tell
feet
people,
and-
cook them.
you're
I was
good.
like, is there barbecue here today?
Who's roasting feet?
Yeah. Oh, that's me. I'm sorry, everybody. That's me. I'm roasting my feet.
Yep.
That smell of roast foot. It's my bad.
Yeah,
my
feet will be
bad.
done soon. You see you ring a triangle.
Here we go, guys. Dinner time. Like I said, mesh or fleece, heated options. Ships in June of this year, so not too far out. It's not like, it's a year away, which I always like. And then if you want to get a mesh one, it starts at $20. If you want a fleece one, it's $30. If you want a
Okay.
heated one, I think it's $40, which is the one I backed.
Yeah, go for the big.
I go big or go
treat
home
yourself.
on the foot hammock. Yeah, treat yourself.
Treat your tootsies.
Yeah, treat your feet. That's what you got to do, guys.
Wow.
That's what you got to do.
That's
so
good.
you're in.
Run. Okay, so my options are back it.
Back it or hack it.
And hack it is somehow bad.
Hack it is like
Oh, well, like
chop
hack it
up.
like with a
Yeah.
hacksaw.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I'm gonna back this one.
All right, good.
I don't know that I would use it, but I know many people who would.
2 backets
Yep.
from me and Brian Bishop of the Film Ball. It's really good. It's really good. All right, on that note, you guys, we got to talk about you. It is time for your user feedback. Last Thursday, we asked you guys to use the hashtag TDPower and tell us what old device you would use to kind of jerry rig up something new and exciting with modern technology. And you guys really came up with some good ones. I love this one from Daniel. He says, I want Tiger handhelds with storage support. I loved them. What if I could have 40 games on one Tiger handheld?
You'd be living in a utopia.
That does seem like the definition of heaven. That actually seems like that would be I would want one.
Yeah, get your Tiger handheld.
I would also back that, just FYI, if you came up with that, it would be really good. Lance wrote in and said, I'd easily take the old Virtual Boy and prevent the headaches it willfully provided everyone with Power Glove drive laying down.
Most of those words didn't make sense to me, but I appreciate his passion and enthusiasm.
I think, yeah, drive laying down, I like that. So your virtual boy, like you basically take away the headaches, you just lay down,
Right.
and then you just drive with a power glove. You just drive your car as you're laying down.
Okay.
See,
Okay.
so it's good. So
You
you
got
wouldn't
me
have
on
to
board.
you're checking out like what's going on out your windshield. Jesus wrote to us and said, get an old brick cell phone and turn it into a smartphone, infinite battery power, and guaranteed self-defense.
You'd be like Zach Morris, but nerdy. You'd be like the perfect man.
Yeah, that would be really good.
You'd be like
I like
sporty
that.
Zach Morris, but also kind of nerdy.
Yeah, I love the infinite battery power and guaranteed self-defense. Because
Yeah.
yes, you could really hurt somebody with a giant.
Yeah, and with a battery that size, the
StarTAC.
phone that size, you'd be remiss not to use a huge, long-lasting battery.
Yeah, I would probably
Like a
have to
car
put
battery.
like brass knuckle like handle on the
That's
back
right.
of it so that I could like really swing it at people if I needed to.
Well, now you're just gilding the lily with the giant phone.
Am I asking
and
for
the
too much?
You are. It's connected to a mace. So you swing it over your head.
That could be an optional add-on.
It's an optional add-on, like the
It's
heat
your-
warmer, like the thing
yeah,
for the
exactly. It's
hammock
like
and the feet.
Exactly. You could just unscrew the antenna and put on like a mace. That would be
Okay.
really good. I would
Self-defense.
enjoy that. And then Fabio wrote to us. This doesn't have to do with TD Power, but Fabio wrote to us and said, "I did this for Tomorrow Daily. They didn't like it. He photoshopped us as raptors." Again, the Raptor Photoshop from CES this year. I'm so sorry, Fabio. I didn't see it, and I don't know how I missed it because that is a fine work of art, my friend.
Well done.
And you are a hero for making it. So high fives to you, Fabio. You're the best.
Good job, Fabio.
Yeah, good.
Is it Fabio or Fabio, or does it matter?
I think, well, maybe he can write us back and tell us. I say Fabio, but it could be Fabio.
Could be Fabio.
Fabio,
Either way, excellent job with the
Either way.
photoshopping.
great work. And then, of course, it's time for your very last piece of user feedback. We do it every day. Photographer of the day. The one and only JL Fox wrote into us.
The one and only.
Seems like a Carmen Sandiego like henchman.
Yeah.
JL Fox.
JL Fox is like not the Bond villain, but the Bond villain's
Oh,
henchman.
JL Fox stole the Smithsonian. Like, I feel like that's a thing that could happen. He wrote to us and said, a few for photographer, tablographer of the day. I love that you made it tablographer. Locust, iPhone 5. So that's with the iPhone 5 there.
That's a locust?
That is a locust, very, very close. And then he took some other ones with the iPad Air 2. I don't know if we have those or not, though. But I really liked it. We're going to say, you know what, I think because of tablographer, we're going to skip those. And we're just going to do photographer because you took this with your phone. But wow, that is a really up close and personal shot of a locust.
Yeah, a little closer than I'd like to get to a locust, frankly.
I think pretty much everyone agrees with you in the world except for JL Fox.
That's a biblical creature, by the way.
Maybe JL Fox controls a swarm of locusts to steal places like the Smithsonian.
Wow, so it's a little more supernatural.
I like it.
Okay.
It's kind of cool.
JL Fox, use your powers for good.
Yeah, use your locust powers for good, seriously, because otherwise we're a little scared of you.
Yeah,
to
keep
be
your windows
honest.
rolled up.
Yeah, definitely keep your windows rolled up and your mouth shut at night when you sleep. If you guys want to submit your photography, you can email us tomorrow@cnet.com with a link to your fabulous picture. Tell us a little story about it. We always love that. If you absolutely hate email, that's fine. You can send us your hashtag of the day.
Okay.
You can send us any other feedback, whatever you want, to Tomorrow Daily over on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And we're Tomorrow Daily TV over on Google+. And we're Tomorrow Daily on Tumblr as well.
So many ways to watch.
There really are a lot. And we also have, if you're interested in our audio-only podcast or a video version of podcast-wise, you can subscribe over on iTunes. You can subscribe on YouTube. Kale usually does this part, and he's really good at it.
Who's Kale?
Exactly. What?
He's gone.
He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. So rate and review us on iTunes, give us a thumbs up on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, all those good things. And if you want to share the show with your friends, let them know. They can go very easily to tomorrowdaily.com and they can watch all of our episodes. It's pretty easy. Where can we find? So you've done quite a few things. So
Yep.
the Film Vault
Yep.
is a podcast.
It's a weekly podcast about
Not
sports.
movies.
No,
Yeah, definitely not movies.
It's about movies, and it's a lot of fun. It's weekly. You can check it out.
And producer Logan also produces the Film Vault.
I don't know that name. I fired
Producer Logan, did you fire him?
I fire him weekly.
Wow,
actually.
this is super awkward.
I know.
And then you also are an author.
Oh, that is true.
You wrote a book.
I did write a book. I wrote a book, came out, in April. The paperback comes out in May. It's still available, of course, on audiobook if that's the way you prefer to listen to it, ebook. It actually made the New York Times bestseller list, which I was overwhelmed and thrilled about, and I'm very extremely proud of it. It's called Shrinkage.
Shrinkage.
And, it's got
It's
my
not
big
about
bald,
what you think.
No, it's got my big bald head on the cover, so
But it's a pretty compelling read. I highly recommend.
Thank you. And of
Highly
course,
recommend.
some little thing called The Adam Carolla Show, which, if you're not aware of it, how dare you? But you can find that too, of course.
I'm sure Adam Carolla would have some 4-letter words to say if
probably
you
would.
were not aware
He
of
probably
what that
would.
is. But that's it for the show. If we want to find you on Twitter, where do we find you individually?
I am at Bald Brian, Brian with a Y, of course.
Brian with a Y. Got it. And I am at Ashley Esqueda. We'll be back tomorrow. We may or may not have Kale. Who knows? He's feeling kind of sick, you guys. Send him nice tweets. Tell him to get better. But regardless, we'll be back tomorrow with a brand new docket of weird, wonderful, awesome pop culture, future tech, everything in between. And until then, be good humans. We'll see you next time. Bye.